Yes, everybody, we're the Matt and the cat. That was terrible.
You're just recycling stuff now.
That was absolutely terrible. Anyway, hi. Yes, the tracker is obviously being probed by the FBI. No, by the anyway.
FBI.
The finger. What does FBI stand for? The finger something investigators.
The female body inspector. I don't know.
Ooh, I think B stands for butt. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Welcome everybody. Yes, if you're here for any serious charting, you might be out of luck. But anyway, we can start with the great Metsby. I think he wants to do a broad stroke of the market.
Yes, I love stroking the market.
Oh my god. This is how we're gonna start.
Especially broadly. Yes, that is the best way to stroke the market.
I don't know. Way to get demonetized. All right. So, what do we have here? I think you're gonna spy when you're doing a broad stroke.
I do got a little spy on stuff. Well, yeah. I'm gonna be looking at the daily chart here for the SPY for spying on the strokes, and we can see that the conversion line is kind of like getting lost as support here on a day-to-day basis for the SPY. So what does that mean? It is possible to even come back down to the 596.47 as a support, which would also kind of be in the zone of a previous all-time high here. So it's not out of the question to do so. So just relax. If it goes down, it'll be okay. And QQQ as well. It's all-time highs yesterday, but today just kind of like an inside candle from yesterday. Still really bullish. I think this one kind of looks like it maybe wants to keep gravitating towards this 1.618 fib up here at 548. So I'm going to be focused on that, and that support is 529. And the IWM, people are freaking out about it. Oh my God, it's losing support. But is it really? Even the daily chart, it's just going back down to the 50-day moving average and going back down to the cloud. So I think the max pain is near. I think the 230 down to the 229. I think this could be all you see for the time being, and then probably a recovery. But then that means maybe the 233, 235 zone could be some support. I mean, some resistance on the way back up. So probably might take some time, maybe not even this year, maybe next year, early next year, for it to break into all-time highs.
Yeah, I think people also don't realize that we also closed the gap too on the daily chart. I think there's a little gap open on November 20th to 21st. So we end up closing a little tiny gap right there. Yeah. Down there. Yeah. Lower. Yeah, there you go.
You like closing those gaps.
Yeah. So whenever you close a gap, generally is supposed to be a little bit of a support level. So volume's picking up a little bit, but I'm not scared. I mean, this whole move down, and tomorrow is going to be some volatility coming, right? Maybe.
What's tomorrow? Oh, the FOMC QRT.
Yeah, is it FOMC or is it like CPI?
CPI. I don't even know. I don't pay attention to that.
It doesn't matter. I think they're just creating opportunities to create volatility. Yeah. The market basically has been going nowhere for like the last few weeks. So
yeah, I'm not worried about all this stuff. This is just normal things. Like when things like IDBM, they get rejected by resistance. I mean, this is what usually happens at all-time highs. What Palantir and Tesla did at previous all-time highs is not like the usual, I think. But yeah, usually they get rejected at previous all-time highs to come back and retest support to break out later. So,
but now people, okay, good.
What's that?
Oh, rate decision. Never mind.
Oh, rate decision. Yeah. So now people are greedy by watching Palantir and Tesla just break out so easily that they expect everything to, but it's not always that case. Oh, it is the FOMC QRT. Yes, nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah. If you miss any sexual energy and you walk into some spicy, but we're totally like not homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like
you had some double negatives in there. You said not. I don't know.
What? That's confusing. Oh no. Who cares? We're all going to die anyway. So yeah, I'm not that worried about.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it. I don't know if anybody's really that worried. Then I don't know what to say. But right now, the month is still kind of inside last month's very, very bullish candle for IWM. So there's really nothing to really that worry about. I guess I should share my screen. That might
It
help.
is a inside candle. Yeah, go ahead. I'll put you on.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I don't have much to show really. I mean, it is breaking down this level here a little bit. I mean, actually, if you look at the candle itself, I don't want to move my fips. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the candle itself, it's basically kind of just backtesting this level over here, right? I mean, it was this whole thing right here was resistance here for almost 8 or 9 months, and now you're basically just breaking through. There's just big giant stroke right here, and it got rejected on the previous all-time high over here at the wick, right? So what is it going to do? I think my fib level might be a little bit off, but that's okay. Yeah, but like, what is it going to do? Well, it's going to come back and back test it. It's generally what happens, exactly what it's doing right now, and so far it's about we have another maybe like a week and a half to 2 weeks left. So the volume is actually not that huge. It's still an inside candle. It's a little bit far away from the conversion. You know, yeah, maybe it needs to kind of wait for conversion to pick up, but there's really nothing scary about it. I'm not worried about IWM. I think if IWM really truly is able to close a candle above this wick over here, then I think it's like lights out for a lot of stocks and a lot of crypto too. I think everything is gonna
rocket.
Yeah, everything's gonna rocket. You're also waiting for upper Bollinger Band here to expand too, right? It's they have to grow. Their stocks, you know, their indexes. You have to wait for things to respect their gravity and and their cages. And this stocks generally they wait for Bollinger Band to expand, be able to go up higher, and that's exactly what it's doing. Look at how bullish that November candle is. Like, this is something that is not easily reversible. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just taking half the month to cool off, and maybe the later half of this year might actually have some kind of relief.
Yeah. I want to go back to your chart. I mean, you want to talk about like ARK fund. You were very excited before.
Yeah, ARK is bullish. I mean, there is a good development happening with ARKK, KKK here. Let's go pull that up. And
looks extremely bullish to me. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. So I'll get to my ARK in a second, but I'm focused on this purple here. That's the 200-week moving average. It's been a while since it said hello to that moving average, right? Ever since it broke down, and never has once touched it. And now on the first couple of touches, it seems like it wants to break above. And why does it seem it wants to break above? Well, I'm going to take off these things here just so you can see the ARK. Right?
Thank you for taking them off. Yeah.
Yes, I'll take it all off really quick. Hold on.
Whoa, that's too much. Okay, all right. Now I see it really clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my beautiful GAN with that orange level as years of support, and look at it's poking its head above the blue arc, which is the 200-week moving average, which is also where the 45-degree angle is up top. So I think this is on the verge of explosion. It really looks like it is. As long as it holds this arc as support, I think the next level is going to be hit, and that's $92. So people that have some leaps on there, yours included, I think this will pay off pretty well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the tip of something beautiful.
Yeah, just the tip. Yeah,
just the tip. Yeah. You think the angle is going to get broken?
I think it will, but maybe not right away. I think it might just build a base on this arc. The arc will build a base on arc. Get it?
Oh man. Oh man. Why are we doing this anyway?
But yeah, once it's above this angle, I think it's $92. Like bam, instantaneously. So that's going to be a lot of growth stocks exploding there. So I mean, Shopify is already building a base on top of an important level. I mean, are they still in the ARK fund? I haven't even paid attention.
I'm not sure, but I'm kind of surprised that Shopify hasn't back tested the monthly cloud. Actually,
well, this is why right here.
Yeah, I know it's incredibly strong. It's crazy. Yeah.
So this is just proof that I think things just want to keep exploding, and they don't really want to cool down. I mean, a lot of crypto is doing the same thing. They're just building a base at a really high level, and they don't really want to go lower. I mean, some are going a little bit lower, like DOGE and stuff, but yeah, it's just still the beginning stages of something that's going to be massive and beautiful. You know,
you want to talk about Tesla while we're talking about ARK? I mean, we might as well, right?
Oh yeah, is it still her number one holding? I don't
think
even
so.
know.
Yeah, it's either that or Coinbase. I think we're going to talk about both. Let me look that up while you're doing that.
Yeah, and so here's my Tesla chart, and one thing I wanted to show is this trend-based fib extension that I brought up on the morning show with Tracker, and I think on the Triumvirate last week too. I can't even remember, but yeah, from this low to this high, back down to here, this is the trend, and it got above this 458. So now this is the goal to maintain as support. And I think if this can be maintained as support, then the possibility to go higher is there. So this is the focus here. And if you go into the daily chart for Tesla, it actually already did backtest it today, right? We can zoom in. It got to 457.51, and that is 458. So it did wick through it already today. So if it can still do that every single day to stay above 458, then perhaps this will also be building a base at a higher level to eventually go to 500. So it looks really bullish.
What do you think is going to happen once it gets to 500? I mean, we're not that far away from now. But
well, I have these fibs here, right here.
Yeah.
And this is the linear based fib right here on the weekly chart. I'll pull that up and we can see that it's 499.55 is the linear based fib. So where is Palantir right now? It's on the linear base. It's basically right above the 1.618. So I can see Tesla in quick fashion go straight up to the $600. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I can see that. Yeah.
I can see that too, but like it's incredible. Like the strings is actually incredible. On the weekly, it's actually not that overextended because you put the Bollinger Band, it's still touching it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to have like a weekly candle that's like way above, but it's actually still kind of touching it on the way up, and it's still expanding. So it's pretty incredible what it's doing.
Yeah. So let me just compare Palantir to Tesla real quick just to see for sure. So yeah, Palantir actually went straight up to all-time highs, straight to the 1.618, and now it even back tested it as support. So I could see Tesla doing something similar to that. So people that are thinking about like selling calls or shorting, I think it's very risky when stuff's melting up, and Palantir is proof of that, right? And MicroStrategy was proof of that too until it got to its 1.618 log scale. Like this is linear scale, but MicroStrategy got to the 1.618 log scale, so that's why it sold off a little bit before Bitcoin. And that's another thing. Like people are wondering why is MicroStrategy lagging. I guess we can talk about it later, but it's because it front ran Bitcoin, so now it's cooling off before Bitcoin. So it's just a very obvious thing to me, but a lot of people are freaking out about it. But just part of the process.
But why, Matt? Why? No.
Why?
Tevis is here. We got one of the bigger YouTubers that just said, "How did I just find this channel now?" Subscribing. Welcome.
Wait, who's this?
Tevis. Yeah.
Oh, Tevis. There he is.
Yeah.
Subscribing.
Yeah, and my biggest fan Vivian's here. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's Tesla looks like it could keep running up for sure. There's definitely a lot of momentum, and I'm not sure it's going to stop at 500.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like all I'm worried about, or not worried about, all I'm focused on is that 458. Right, this 458 right here. If this holds a support day over day, week over week, then it's not going lower, and that just means it's going to probably go to the 1.618 pretty quickly, the 600 level. It's going to play a lot of catch up and just catch up to everybody else that's at their extension levels on linear scale, and it's going to get there in a hurry.
Yeah, I guess I can show one thing real quick on Tesla, and it's going to be the monthly Bollinger Band. If you're wondering, like, if something this parabolic is happening, it has only happened twice in the past for Tesla's history. The first one was back in 2013, and it resulted in a lot of gains. Are you talking about price went from like $2.50 all the way to like 18, 19, 20? Right, getting close to like a 7 or 8x right there. The second time it happened was obviously it was where everybody got really bullish on Teslas around 2019, went up all the way from like $16, went all the way up to like 415, somewhere like that. Right now, the Bollinger Band, whenever you have something this parabolically happening, the Bollinger Band expands like crazy, right? You can see the upper Bollinger Band is expanding, allowing price to go up higher. And at the same time, the lower Bollinger Band also expands all the way down. This tells you that this trend is incredibly strong. And this tells you that something is happening where you have so much momentum that it's not just going to be like a V shape all the way down. Like it doesn't, the market structures, they don't work like that, right? So if you worry about Tesla crashing down, it doesn't make any sense. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make any sense. What I envision happening is you're probably going to get another few of these like crazy monthly candle that, like you said, push to like 600, 700, 800, whatever. And then the low Bollinger Band is going to experience so much volatility that the low Bollinger Band is going to go all the way back down to the ground, right? And if that happens, the question is, when are you going to take profit? Where's the top? Nobody really knows exactly where the top is, so you don't necessarily always have to time the top. But looking at every stock has their own personality. If you're looking at Tesla, and I talked about this on video before, you look at Tesla, the two really parabolic bull cycle, and we might be starting a third one here. If you are looking into where the top is going to be, well, it's not going to be coming until the low Bollinger Band really comes back from the ground. But once you see the low Bollinger Band, like it was all the way down here to the negatives, right? Whenever you start to see like the Bollinger Band start to kind of curl up here, I guess this is like what, February 2014. So February 2014 was like right there, right? It's close to the peak, but not quite, right? You really have to, like, if this goes all the way down to the ground, I'm probably just going to keep holding, which is what Palantir is doing right now, by the way. And whenever it comes back down from the ground like this, then that's when I'd be like, yeah, I'm not comfortable holding anymore, right? Same thing over here. So that really tells you that the trend's exhausting when the Bollinger Band stops expanding and it starts contracting. That's kind of when I might, if the Bollinger Band is going all the way down to the ground, that's probably when I might consider strongly just sell everything. But not until then, if that happens, just based on the past behavior of Tesla. It doesn't
and it's just beginning right now, so there's no even worry about that right now.
Yeah. And there's no, I mean, there's no guarantee it's going to go all the way down to the ground. But then when I saw Palantir was doing that thing, I really thought that it was going to do it, and certainly it's doing it. So it's a little bit way outside the upper Bollinger Band. I still think there's a possibility if they get punished all the way down to like 60. That's still possible to get to touch the Bollinger Band to allow, you know, to keep going. It's still extremely bullish if that happens, but everybody would like freak the hell out. But the low Bollinger Band is like all the way down to the ground. Like, this is not the time to sell. If you have a longer time frame mindset, like, it could always crash down 20%. It's fine. But like, to me, I just don't think there's time to sell. But anyway, I'm done talking about Tesla. I just wanted to share that thought. So
yeah, we're both really bullish on it, and it's just still the beginning, and it just blasted through all-time highs and is leaving everybody behind. Most people gave up on it a long time ago. So I see that question in the chat about they don't want to realize taxes, so they're just holding on. Well, not the retail. Most of the retail, they gave up on it a long time ago. So and if they are back in it, it's because they're chasing the FOMO. They got the FOMO to go back in. So I don't know if it's retail that's doing that. I think it's more of the institution. It's more of the whales, the big money that's pushing the price higher and higher. All right. So what's next on the menu here? I can't hear you, Kat. Are you?
Yeah, sorry. I muted myself without knowing. Sorry. Yeah, tons of whales. If you're into like Danny's whale indicators, it's basically the same thing. It's like 100% whales right now. So it's not retail.
Yeah, it's not retail. They're not. Oh, I don't want to pay taxes, so I'm going to hold on to it. No, they probably sold at like 200, or they held it throughout the whole bear market and they sold the bottom. You know, that's what most of the retail has done.
Yeah. Well, if you want to talk about ARK, I guess next up would be Coinbase, right? The number one holding is Tesla. Number two holding is Roku, which I'm not going to talk about.
Oh, wow. Roku's number 2?
Yeah, Roku's number 2. Coin's number 3. Roblox is number 4. And Palantir is number 5.
Yeah, Roblox chart looks actually fantastic, but we don't have to get into all these stocks. But yeah, so Coin is the big one in the room here, right? Everybody's worried about the coin. Let me go.
Show the coin. Show me the coin. There you go.
So I just want to show the daily chart of what's happening to the ARK and what's happening to the 318.95. So it's kind of a resistance, right? It's spending more time below this 886 than above it. So yes, this is resistance, but notice the pattern of just building a base at this higher level on top of this arc. The weekly chart really defines it better too. For the past month and a half, it's just been nicely on top of this arc and hasn't really looked back. And what I've mentioned before is this previous high right here, right there, it basically gapped up, kind of went down to touch that previous high, and it's never looked back. So not only is this like a break of structure for continuation higher, but yeah, this is just building a base, a big giant bull flag at a higher level, waiting to smash above this resistance. So is it at resistance or is it at support? And the answer is both, really. It's at support and resistance. And how far could things go down? Well, I think maybe linear scale could help with that. I think it's around here, right? I think it's around the 702, this 310.94. I think what was once a resistance, you can see wick up, wick up, wick up, is now spending the majority of the time on top. So 3 weeks below it, now 3 weeks basically above it. So this is what I'm watching. This could be a new resistance flip to a support zone. So people that are worried it's going to collapse, I'm not so certain it will. I think, yeah, sure, during the week, like we saw, it can go back down to 300. What did it go to today? 303 or something. But yeah, it's just building a base at a higher level, and it just looks beautiful, right? It's just one of these charts that hasn't gotten to all-time highs yet, that you don't have to feel the FOMO with, because it's just cooling off for a month and a half right now, you know, and then people are worried it's not going to blast off. But this is what markets do. They just stay at a level up and down in that range to shake people out, to make them lose confidence right before they send it higher.
Yes. Yeah, whatever you said. Yeah.
I wasn't listening. What?
No, I mean, I agree with every single thing that you said. Like, there's really nothing to really add. I guess I can show a couple other things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same fit level that you have, and obviously, because but I mean, there's only one way to really troll these levels. But if I get rid of this, it's not just the 0.86 level. I mean, you also have a volume shelf here. You also have some price history over here. This is really the last price history there is. If you're able to break above the zone, then like the sky's the limit. You know, that's just basically the way it is.
Isn't that like a giant cup and handle too?
That's
playing out. Yeah,
it is, and it's basically like you cannot be bearish on this chart. Like, look at how nice the you know, athlete's cup right there, you know, and it's got a little bit of somebody's, you know, got a handle over there. It looks like just like something wants to come out, you know. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I was just talking about.
is it like a genie lamp? You got to rub it the right way and something will come out.
Yeah, it's or like a little teapot, you know, and then like for some reason the tea comes out is like shooting up, you know? but anyway, like, in the 20-month moving average is still going up. Like, this is a bull trend no matter what you look at. If you're looking at all the moving averages, like 20 is still about 50, is still about 100. Like, it was at risk for, I guess, a little bit of like a, you know, whatever death cross or whatever you believe in those kinds of things, but it didn't. It's just reverted and it's just pushed all the way up higher, right? So you still got a full bull trend going, both on a monthly time frame and a weekly time frame. Still a bunch of whales in. Like, the momentum is still there. It's just forming a flag, just like you said, is trying to push about this volume show over here. And beyond that, there's really not much history here. Like, it can just run. Which is the reason why when things push about the 0.86, things just keeps going to all-time high. Like, that's exactly the reason why, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for coin. I mean,
how's the Bollinger Band look on that one though?
The Bollinger Band is looking fine. Like, there's a little bit of an issue with the Bollinger Band on the monthly. This is why you have these wicks above, because you just have to have the Bollinger Band expansion, right? And it's accelerating to the upside, so it's going to allow price to go up. It still hasn't had that crazy bullishness yet, because this is like a bullish engulfing candle. It's engulfed like 8 months of price action, but it still hasn't been having those impulsive price action really pushed the upper Bollinger Band up. which is why the low Bollinger is still kind of coming back here. It's still a little bit, contracting, but I like the fact that upper Bollinger is pointing up, and I like the fact that it's going to allow price to go up higher. But it still needs to battle the resistance zone over here, which is not a big deal. I don't need it to go to 600 tomorrow. I need it to go to 1,000 this cycle. I don't need to go to 600 tomorrow. So that's kind of how I see it.
But will it go to 600 tomorrow?
Yeah. If it doesn't go up there, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm not bearish on Coinbase. You want to talk about MicroStrategy? What you got?
Yeah. Let me.
You gotta wash your hands from whatever you're
yeah, doing. I gotta wash my hands here real quick. I feel dirty.
But if you are, thank you for that. I think both you and I were basically letting people know, you privately and me semi-publicly, if anybody was listening, that whenever price was hitting the 1.618 log fib level, it's going to be a pretty strong resistance level. Sure enough, it was, right? And when it dropped all the way back down, when everybody was freaking out, I was like, it's probably going to hold 1.414, and it held, right? Yeah. And it's just been going sideways, just been forming a flag. It's just been doing absolutely nothing. If you look at it monthly, and if you look into Bollinger Band, I think a lot of people that might be a little bit scared, and me, myself included a little bit, I am a little bit scared that we might be a little bit overextended. I might be a little bit scared that this big giant wick reminds me of this big giant wick over here. I might be a little bit scared that this is like one of the first candle that is really like just way outside the upper Bollinger Band. That makes me, reminds me of a little bit over there. But I don't think the cycle's over yet. I just don't think the cycle's over yet, because the 20-month moving average is really still very impulsively going to the upside. And the low Bollinger Band, I think, is still expanding down here a little bit. So I don't think the cycle is really over yet. I still think that it's probably going to get stuck between the 1.61 and 1.414 for a little bit longer. If it touches back down here again, people are going to freak out, especially if Bitcoin doesn't go down and MicroStrategy goes down. Everybody's like, what? But it would be exactly what is needed to be healthy. It can stay unhealthy like that. It could be fried chicken, or it can come back and be salad. I have no idea which way it's going to go. But all I know is that I think that it's still got some juice to it. I don't think the whole thing is really exhausted yet. I still think it's probably going to hit some of the higher levels above. That's kind of my thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, but go for it.
Yeah. So same thing. Yeah, I think I was live on the morning show with Tracker in the pre-market, just talking about it was at that 542, and I was like, yeah, the guys, this is a profit taking zone, and I actually sold 1/3 of my position at that price up there. I get 541 exactly. And sure enough, yeah, it went back down to the 1.414, and we can see that price is just stabilizing in the middle of a range. And when we put on the daily or the weekly Ichimoku, it's still right in the conversion line perfectly. It's still holding trend. 373.96, that's your support. And there's really nothing broken about this at all. It's just following the conversion line. It got rejected by resistance. It found support, and now it's kind of like trying to find a direction. And I think the direction is probably going to be a little bit sideways, maybe for a little bit longer. Perhaps if we go to the daily chart here, maybe it wants to go towards the daily cloud later in December here, or maybe come back down to this 1.414 fib down there, and the cloud is at the same time too. So it could just be waiting for that, because since it broke out of the cloud, it has never touched it since September 20th. So this could be the end of the month before wanting to resume its uptrend. So just a little bit more patience, I think, for MicroStrategy. And remember, it front ran Bitcoin a lot. Way before Bitcoin even broke all-time highs again, it was running, right? So we got to remember that. So it's going to cool down first, and then it'll probably just front run Bitcoin again when it's time.
Oh, I want to show one more thing about MicroStrategy. I agree with everything that you just said. This is the monthly chart and the Ichimoku cloud. There is a big difference between what it's been doing in the past here versus what it's doing right now over the last like 9 or 10 months or so. You had a katana here, it ran all the way up here, but it really completely got exhausted. Like price closed this month over here slightly above the Tenku Nikishin or the base in conversion. But then it never really closed above both again, except for this month over here in November. But in November, you had a bearish cross, right? So far that there's a little bit of a different situation here because price is consistently closing above the conversion and baseline, and the conversion is still above the base. So the bull trend is not over, and they continue to serve as support. This is a very, very different look compared to what it did over here. Like you can see that it broke down underneath the conversion base and was just trying to back test. It just got completely exhausted to the point that, oh, I got over it, but you had a bearish cross, and the next thing you know, it was just like plummeted down here from there, right? If you look at the 2-month, you can see this. You see the same thing. Where price is currently still up. Like you got a little bit of a katana actually on 2-month. It wants to just keep going. 3-month, you have a katana here too. You see how it looks very different here compared to here, right? Over here, it got completely rejected. It closed the 3-month candle under the conversion base. Over here, it doesn't, like, I mean, the 3-month candle is going to close maybe in like a week and a half or so, right? But it just looks like the candle is just like, I want to go up higher. So this is a very different look compared to here. If you think that MicroStrategy has topped, it doesn't really look like it. So
I think saying MicroStrategy topped is basically saying Bitcoin is topping, and that could be, in my opinion, farther from the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I can see like how you could say, yeah, MicroStrategy maybe is like an early runner because it did peak around February 2021, and Bitcoin went on and make a little bit of like a higher high in November, where MicroStrategy didn't, right? I mean, I guess you can say that, but I just don't see the momentum stopping. There's nothing on Bollinger Band. There's nothing on the Ichimoku that's really telling me that that's the case. It's above support right now. It's below resistance over here. So there's a very, very different look to it. So you want to talk about miners, man? Like you want to run through them?
Well, before I just want to talk about Bitcoin before I jump into miners. So about like Bitcoin topping and everything. Well, here's the log scale fibs from the previous cycle all-time high right here to the low. So it's now above and already back tested the 103, 611, 1.272 fib. So this is looking like it's in the process of building a base at a higher level. So to say MicroStrategy tops is kind of saying Bitcoin is topping. And there are people on X that I read that they are saying that. And I do not see that at all with this chart alone, right? This chart alone, if you don't even look at the GAN here, just the fib, this chart alone is telling you that this is looking like it wants to be a base. And even on the lower time frames, I can see that Bitcoin is looking like it wants to be a base right now. And right here on the 4-hour chart. So let me just zoom out for you. You can see this little 4-hour GAN that I built from August 5th, from the low of that scary trade, right? The carry trade. Anyways, but right, basically, what's that?
I was just saying yes in Japanese.
The scary trade, yes. Anyways, this angle has been a marvelous support in the past, and it still was, right here. It was a big support, and it even like flipped these levels to support one at a time, right? This orange level flipped to support, the blue level flipped to support, and now what is it doing right now? Well, look at this. It's at 105,400 right there, 105,300. That's the level, and it already back tested it just now. It went to 105,363, and look at what is possible now with all of this support below. So what is below this? Yeah, it's around that 102, 103 zone, which is also that fib. So we could wick below and get in this area, but the angle is still there to catch it too. So guess what? It's going to possibly just keep going on this 4-hour chart here, maybe something like this, and get up to 124,000 next. And I mean, if Bitcoin's 124,000, do you think MicroStrategy is going to stay at $400? I mean,
yes. No,
do you think miners are going to stay where they are right now?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I think there's I just think there's so much confluence that Bitcoin right here on the high time frame and the low time frame, it's showing me that it doesn't want to go lower. And I think it's just crazy to see all these bearish posts on X that are saying doom and gloom, like, oh, you should be going to cash or whatever. It's like, calm down, guys. I think things are just heating up. And I think a lot of people are going to miss the bulk of this excitement because they're going to sell too early. I really think so. So, but not me.
Who says to go to all cash? That's
I gotta find some of those posts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right.
Not go to all cash now, but start like taking profits. Start because the cycle top is near. I see that post a lot. Like the cycle top is near, and I get the exact opposite vibe when I look at the.
That's what I don't have any like cat kids or anything. But if I had like a 5-year-old and if we're in the drive and there's another 5 hours to go, I would tell the kid that it's near too. And then yeah, you can jump off the car right now. Like anyway, like that's it's gotten a lot of momentum. I mean, we're on the highway.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Yes, we're almost there, kid. We're almost there, son. We're almost there. Yeah.
But this speaks to me that there's many months still left in this. Whether it's half a year, 2 years, that's still undecided. It just depends on how fast things go. But if things just keep creeping up like one level at a time like this, I think it's going to be a while. So this is exciting.
Yeah, me too. I can show the Bollinger Band perspective of this. And I think I think basically you can see that whenever every single cycle, whenever things get really parabolic, it's the same thing I was just showing with Tesla too, right? The low Bollinger Band goes all the way down to the ground. And when does the low Bollinger Band, and every single asset have their own personality, right? For Bitcoin, when does the low Bollinger Band start expanding all the way down to the negatives? It's usually when it beats its previous all-time high. So for example, you look at the cycle over here from like, from 2013 all the way to like 2015, from the top to the bottom, a draw at fib level, it breaks the previous all-time high here. That's usually when the lower Bollinger Band starts to expand, right? You can see that when it breaks all-time high, lower Bollinger Band goes down to the ground. And when that happens, you have another, like, I don't know how many months is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something crazy, right? And price basically, like during this cycle, was a little bit crazy. It was back then. I don't think it's going to happen now, but it went more than like 10x in like 8 months, right? The cycle after that, if you're drawing the same fib level, and the reason why I'm even drawing this is just to show you, like, when it breaks all-time high here, what does the Bollinger Band end up doing? End up going down to the ground, right? And then you have these like 4 really crazy candles where price went like basically a 3x from here, right? So what are we having right now? What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the same thing, right? We're talking about price is breaking all-time high and you're having Bollinger Band start to expand, right? For a parabolically rising asset that is very cyclical like Bitcoin, whenever it breaks above its all-time high, the top is not near. Like, like that just, you can talk about diminishing return, like, oh, that you have like 10x over here after it breaks its all-time high. You only have a 3x over here after it breaks its all-time high. This time is only going to be like maybe like 50%. I guess you can argue it that way, or you can argue that the last cycle is a little bit unusual because you actually have a little bit of truncated wave 5 here. I would argue that the last cycle actually was a little bit unusual because of the COVID, so the bull trend actually started a little bit late. And then because they were, sucking liquidity out of the system, they actually have a hard time really trying to push above and make another high here. But right now, like there's, I actually haven't looked at the liquidity. Where's the global liquidity index? Yeah, right now it's having a little bit of a back test of the breakout, right? You have a horizontal, actually I should probably zoom out here, get rid of the Bollinger Band. You have a breakout here of this horizontal zone over here of the global M2 money supply, and you broke out, and right now you're having a little bit of a back test, right? So like this is a bullish thing. I think Bitcoin's sniffing it out, and that's why it's going up a lot higher. and you might be worried like, hey, it's going down. Global liquidity is going down. That sucks. Like that means Bitcoin is going to go down, right? Not necessarily. I mean, if you look at like the previous backtest, I think this is a little bit unusual because it's COVID. But even after this backtest, that's when the parabolic move starts, right? I just, like, and over here, like whenever it broke above this horizontal zone over here with this backtest over here, Bitcoin went crazy after that. So I just think that a lot of things are really lining up. I think Bitcoin looks like it wants to go a lot higher. How high? I don't think anybody really knows like the exact answer, but I think you have some preliminary targets, right, Matt?
Yeah, I think 250 to 300 is what I think.
Okay, it's not unreasonable. Yeah. All right, now I'm done talking about Bitcoin. What do you want to
do? There was a question just directed about which moving averages I use, the green, blue, and purple. It's the 50, the 100, and the 200 simple moving average. Just to answer those questions for you. But yeah, we can do miners next. Miners. I guess what's on everybody's mind is a little CLSK, right?
Yeah, CLSK just looks like coin, actually. Like, there's really nothing.
Not as bullish as coin, though.
Not as bullish. I think it's because it was extremely bullish all the way from like $1.50 all the way to like 20.25. I think it's just kind of cool. But yeah, it's not as bullish as coin. I think coin's probably going to do pretty good. CLSK is fighting its demons. I keep making videos talking about how like these miners are fighting their demons. They're all hitting some kind of resistance one way or another. CLSK is trying to. I'm sorry, CleanSpark is trying to get. CleanSpark is trying to get back about the 0.618. Is trying to get back into the weekly cloud. It's been challenging the monthly cloud, but look at how much effort it was pushing through. I actually find this to be very. I actually find this to be pretty bullish. The fact that it came back down and grabbed liquidity and cool down because it just didn't have enough energy to push through the monthly cloud. So it's been just pushing. It's just been coming back down to like 2-foot levels after it break through like three. Literally, it's like 3 step forward, 2 step back, and then now it's trying to build enough energy to try and break through in the cloud again. I don't know. Like I can talk about Mara, and then we'll pass the baton back to you. All I have to say about Mara is actually I'm going to take off all these like drawing all these indicators here. All I have to say is Mara is actually one that I can talk about cycles because it's been around for a lot longer. So I actually want to kind of talk to you about what happened here, and I did that before too. But Mara did like not much around from October to November 9th, right, on in 2020. The first spike that it has really maybe around like November 16, and the time when it actually got above the zone over here, this peak over here was not until like December 14th, right? So during this entire time, what was Bitcoin doing? Well, during the entire time, Bitcoin was going up. There's nothing unusual about this cycle. Like, to be honest, I think miners at this stage is just lagging, and that's kind of what it does. I don't know what else to say. If you just look at Mara's technicals here in isolation, it is still a bullish chart. It's been trying to knock this horizontal level up here multiple times, and looks like it really is starting to build a lot of energy, including building a lot more volume to trying to break through. So I'm not bearish. It got above the weekly Shimono cloud here again. On the monthly, 20-month moving average is still pointing up. It's still waiting for Bollinger Band to expand. This is still a bullish chart. It's just not going to necessarily follow Bitcoin because Bitcoin's already had its technicals all kind of figured out. And Mara is still trying to figure out his own technicals, but it's building a strong base over here and looks pretty bullish. It looks like it wants to break out. I think that the biggest thing, let me get rid of these lines here. I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you. But it's basically breaking through the 0.618 here again, and is back testing it right now this month. Is building a solid footing to try to get to the 0.786. And what is at the 0.786? Well, that's the top of the cloud. That's probably where it's going to gravitate to. I think that minimally the cycle is going to hit the 0.786, But if it breaks to 0.786, then you talk about some like pretty sick targets above, which I'm not going to really talk too much about here. But like, you know, like it's not even there yet. But like I guess I can show like some potential. These are log fibs. Like, I mean, it could hit like 181 possible if it's able to break about the 0.786 with such a big base over here is possible. I'm not going to say it is because it's underneath resistance, but there's a pretty thick cloud over here is trying to break through. That's why you need to build up a lot of energy over here at the 0.618. That's why you need to reclaim the baseline and conversion line over here. Build up some energy, pushing the cloud, probably going to get rejected here for like a month or two, and then you're going to end up going up a lot higher. That's what I think. So I'm going to pass it to you because I already talked about this. You still there? What?
Yeah, what? CLSK is getting blocked by the monthly cloud too, right?
It is, and I think it's actually they're the same thing. Like I can show you, like it's basically doing the same thing. Push through the 0.618, trying to backtest it. Currently is a little bit underneath of that, but that's okay. Like I think the demand is still young, you know, and it's actually doing the same thing. Where's the top of the cloud over here around 0.786? They're all the same. Like it's not anything unusual in terms of what they're doing in terms of their technicals. If you look at the chart alone, you don't use any indicators at all. Like this is a bullish chart, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's not as bullish as Coinbase, but if you look at Mara just in isolation, like this is
it's just missing, like CLSK is kind of missing on the shorter time frame, higher highs. That's about it.
Yeah, on the higher time frame you have it, on a shorter time frame you don't, which is why I think it's just one of those that it just needs to take a little bit longer to kind of break about, just because it went a lot stronger compared to the other miners at early on, right? And then you just have to reset the sentiment. This is exactly what it's doing. It broke down underneath the buy support band and is trying to reclaim it. And right now it's just stuck in, you know, it's just stuck inside a band. It's like glue. It's just stuck inside the band here. I have something to show you actually. I don't know if you saw my post on this. I have like the 20, 50, and 100 week moving average, right? And I was actually looking at this. Like this reminded me of something. You probably saw my post, Dan.
Yeah,
this reminded me of something.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Shopify. No, that's the monthly. That's why. Yeah, this really reminds me of what Shopify did when everybody, like nobody was talking about Shopify for a period of time because it was looking pretty bullish and then it wasn't. And then it basically had like the same kind of morphology that is going through right now. It basically it broke down below all of this, found support here at the 100, and then it had to take its time for a few months to really come back and back test some of this stuff and reclaim them from resistance back into support. And I think that's exactly what it's kind of doing right now. It broke.
It's right there at the back test of the 20-week moving average right now. That's like, where we are.
Yeah, it's the same spot that we're here as we're here with Shopify. It's like the exact same spot that we're here and here. So I think that it's going to take its time, maybe another week or two. It's going to try and reclaim the 50, back test the 50, and then you can go up a lot higher. So it might take a few more weeks at least. I don't think it's going to do its thing in like, in the next few weeks, but it's repairing its technicals, which is what Shopify did. But once it does, it really just jump up. The interesting thing too, if you look at a monthly here, they basically did the exact same thing, which is they got rejected off of the Ichimoku. They got rejected off the Ichimoku, right? Like Shopify got rejected over here, right? And then it had to do this cup thing, which is exactly what like CleanSpark's doing right now. Got rejected for months and months. It came back, did a cup thing, right? Very, very similar morphology here. Is trying to reclaim the Tenkan-Nikijin, which Shopify was trying to do that for a very long time. All it takes is just like 2 months. It just got back above and it just shot through the cloud. So that's yeah. Anyway,
well, hot dog.
All right, I'm done talking about CleanSpark here, man. You can take over and do your thing.
Yeah, I'll just add a few things here. I was always focused on this 1370 level right here, the blue level, but it didn't hold. But is this the end of the world? No, because this 45-degree angle is still holding beautifully. It's like when you zoom out, it's a really nice formation from the bottom. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And it just keeps on going, right? So this high time frame is really bullish. And not only that, like look at where price is right now. And when you put on a fib from the all-time high to the low down here. Nope, that's not it. Come on, cat, make it happen. Make it happen.
No. No. No.
Yes, give it to me.
No. Meow, 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 baby.
Okay, look at that fib, guys. It's the 50% fib. Oh my god, 1228. Is it? No, I think it's 1207, right? I think I didn't get it exact. Something like that.
Yeah, you moved it. Yep.
I think it's 1207. Maybe I moved it up here or something. Yeah, there it is. 1207.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 1207, right? And look at that. 1207 also was like a resistance zone in the past, resistance zone in the past, support zone in the past, right? Support zone. And you go back even further, resistance zone in the past. I mean, come on, guys. This is the halfway point on log scale between all-time high and all-time low. And it's building a base. It's a back test. And it's right there building a base on top of it. Like, I cannot be bearish on this. I've been buying more. And I think it's going to go higher, right? Just going to be taking time, like Kat said. Don't need to show those Ichimoku stuffs. So just going to move on tomorrow. But yeah, $12 range. If it wicks down again, down to that, what is that? The 20-week moving average, I think is at like 1170 something. That range, I think it's beautiful if it gets back down there again. So beautiful. So Mara also super bullish too. What we see here for Mara. Let me go to the weekly chart here. So I've been focusing on these fibs right here, like the 702 and the 618. So this has basically been a resistance. This has kind of been a support zone. So it's just been oscillating back and forth in between this zone essentially for a year, right? Since it broke out in December of last year, it's just been up and down, up and down, up and down. So by definition, this is kind of building a base on top of the previous resistance back in July, back on top of this resistance back in August. So what was once a resistance point for Mara is now looking like support, right? So this is looking more and more bullish for the future. And I think the trend is your friend, especially with the Ichimoku right here. We can see that it's holding the conversion line. And it looks like the potential to go to the 33 is going to be there over time. It's just got to take one level at a time. I think the problem is all of these wicks right here, it's a lot of sell pressure. So it just is taking time to break through all of that before it gets to the 30s and beyond. So super bullish chart too. It's just going to take time. And actually, it's even more bullish than CLSK since it's above the weekly cloud.
Very nice. Now I got a question for you. Now that you are bullish on the which are your most bullish miners that you see, and then we'll move on from miners.
Well, one of my favorites, which has been my favorite for a while, is WULF.
Yeah.
WULF is just gorgeous here. When you look at the 200-week moving average, just look at that. It's basically for a couple months straight, it's been building a base on top of the 200. It has not closed one weekly candle below that 200 since it broke out. Fabulous. Not only that, it's in between these arcs here, and it's above this angle and the conversion line. So, I mean, this honestly looks like a matter of time. Like just maybe blast off, boomtown, magical unicorns and fairy dust, you know? And the next arc up here sits at $23, $24, you know?
Yeah.
So this is probably one of my favorite charts right now because it just looks so darn bullish right now.
Yeah, I like one that I like better than WULF actually. CIFR chart. CIFR chart actually looks very good. Yeah. The reason why is because it had multiple challenges of the 0.786. And it looks like you had like a little bit of a false breakup, but this week is really trying to push through, you know, the 0.786. Even WULF is not doing that. Like WULF is trying to push through the 0.618. So it's actually lagging behind a little bit per like Fibonacci. I mean, granted, it had a big giant, you know, downfall here, but you know, CIFR didn't, you know, but like it might be just slightly ahead of it a little bit. I like the fact that it spent so many weeks trying to push through, and it's just really absorbing a lot of demand above. And right now, it looks like currently it's only 2 days in a week, but it looks like it may want to continue to challenge that area. Yeah. I like that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think I like all of them. I even started buying bit farms recently just because it's holding levels nicely. I'll just pull in my bit farms chart, and it's holding the 50% as well, just like CLSK. It's been holding it over and over and over and over again. So I'm like, you know what?
Are you pulling your chart here, or is it still mine? Looks like you're, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you failed to deliver.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Let's in stream right now. I failed. See you guys. No, it's the same level, the 50%, the 194. It's been building a base on top of that. It even finally just like a month and a half ago finally touched the 100-week moving average for the first time since it broke out. So it's just a little bit, I think, later on in the boomtown stage, but I think it's going to get there, right? I think the longer it holds this zone, it's just going to keep building a base and eventually break free. So I think they're all, in their own way, they're bullish. All the miners.
All the miners? Aww.
All of them. I mean, do you have one that you hate, that you say, stay away? Ooh, this is not good.
Oh, definitely cores. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that all-time highs over and over again? Oh, man. Watch out.
I mean, like, yeah, they're all going to do fine. It's just one may be more bullish than the other at a certain part of the cycle, but they're building their base. They're fighting their technicals. They're lagging behind Bitcoin. They're trying to blow. So before they blow, they're going to get rejected. That's kind of how it works. How high do they blow?
In dating too, right? Before you blow, you
get well, I mean, I don't know if before you blow out, you get rejected for that, unless if you're like aiming a little bit high, like if you're a 4 and you're trying to, anyway, like that's beyond that point. What I'm trying to say, I forgot exactly what I'm trying to say, so I'm gonna move on. I think what we should do.
Well, how about this? The more you get rejected, the better a chance you'll have to blow in the future.
You don't. I guess you just care more, so I guess you do a better job when you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we can go into some altcoins and maybe do a couple requests and we can call it a night.
I do have somebody typing about. I'm having trouble getting more bullish on XRP. Can you help? Well, my friend, I think you came to the right place, the right channel. I mean, I cannot go a live stream without talking about XRP because it's my secret lover. Yeah.
You meant XRP?
Yes, triple XRP. It's really provocative right now.
How provocative is it, Matt? Please share with us.
It's pretty sexy. I mean, most people can't handle it. That's why they didn't enjoy the ride.
Wait, let me do it, Danny. Let me do it, Danny. How provocative are we talking about here?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Danny, because this chart, it is super, super sexy. And when you look at the 886 right here, it is building a base on top of it. It didn't even stop at the 786. It just said, see you later. And I'm going to go right here and then build a base right there. And it's 225,877. So this is kind of the number I'm watching. More importantly is what I'm watching is the linear scale 786, the 263, 156. I really want this to close above because for the past 3 weeks, it can't. So I think it's really going to be game on when there's a weekly candle close above this 263, 156. But until then, it's probably just going to be in a range. And it's going to make people happy when it goes towards resistance. And it's going to freak people out when it goes back to support. So it's just going to play mind games with you guys until it's really ready to break free.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty convinced at this point that it's going to go to at least like $7 or $8. It's going to take its time, but it's going to get there. Yeah.
When I look at my fib right here, I'm going to take off the Ichimoku. when I look at this, like I see the intersection right here of the arc of the 1.272 and the vertical line right there at 830. So that's July of 2025. So maybe we'll have an $8 XRP in 6 or 7 months, maybe, or
I think
sooner.
It's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not $24? Why not $28 XRP?
No, that's just part of the process. So I mean, unless it pulls like a Palantir and just goes straight up and then goes to the $13, then retest the $8, and then goes to the 1.618, the 2663, and that coincides with the blue level of the GAN at $28, $29. So I can see that, but probably not next year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe later on down the road, maybe 2030 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's 250 minimum too. Yeah. So the 2.272 is at 241, guys. So be prepared for that. And it coincides with the arc there in 2033. So you heard it here first. In May 2033, XRP is going to be $241.38.
Yeah. X6RP. Wait, X6RPP. Yeah, that's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to add the extra PP there.
I mean, I think it's yeah. Somebody asked about Doge. I mean, there's really not much else to.
Doge is boring. It broke below the 786. So.
Yeah, and it's. I don't think it's going to go back to the 0.618, but it's probably it's just hugging 0.786 again. It's just doing its thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably it could break out any time, to be honest, because it's still. Let me see here. It's still about the monthly Ichimoku, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just stuck underneath the 0.786 and the monthly Ichimoku. It's got some really strong support here. It's building up a pretty solid base before it breaks out. It's it wasn't as bullish as the last time where it just pushes through the cloud like it's butter, you know. But if you look at the weekly here, there's a lot of similarities. Actually, I would argue that this cycle here might be a little bit more bullish than the last. The reason why is like it doesn't. I don't know if whether or not it's going to come back down to the 0.618. Like unless if there's like a dog plague or something, you know, like a dog COVID, and then next thing you know, like you know, all dogs like you know, all things related to dog just doesn't do very well. You have a flash crash and you come back down to 0.618. But I don't think it's going to happen. You know, like,
I don't know.
It looks like it just wants to hug the 0.786, which is more bullish than last cycle. Last cycle it was stuck between the 0.618 and the 0.786 for like weeks, you know. And this cycle is like, oh, I want to break above the 0.786, and now I'm actually a little tired. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a nap here. But the nap is taking is at like some pretty strong support here on the monthly cloud. So I don't think it's gonna really break down that much further. If it does, I think it'd be an opportunity. If it goes all the way down to like 0.618 or the bottom of the cloud, man, I'm going to start loading up again. But
I think 36 cents is like max pain because that's been retested numerous times. Yeah.
And 37.5 cents is right at the Ichimoku cloud. So
dog COVID would be rough.
DNW is on fire today. All right, so I think we kind of covered a lot of bases. There's this person here, Shane, kept asking about ACHR like 3 or 4 times. You want to do ACHR for him?
Yeah, I'll do some Archer.
Yeah, let's do it. I think we could probably end the show. It's getting to an hour mark.
Oh yeah, it's like an hour. There's too many requests. I think I'll be live with Tracker tomorrow to take more requests for you guys. But $9 is what I'm looking at. I want this to hold. I want this $8.99, this $9 range to hold throughout the week. It is some resistance right here. We can see by the wick up there. So yes, it closed the day above it, but the week is what I'm interested in because so far it has only closed 1 week above that level, and the rest have just spent time retesting levels below. So it is a breakout and a successful back test already. Not necessary to go down lower. The trend has been with a lot of stocks is they are building bases at higher level. So I can see this one doing the same thing. I can see it just building a base at the $7 range. but it's got to prove it to me. And right now, there's no proof that it wants to break above the 9 yet until the weekly candle closes. And then the following week, there's like follow through, not just a red candle like we saw right here. So I think it is getting more bullish, but let's find out on Friday if it really wants to close above this 8.99 level.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we done here, man. Yeah,
I think so. I think that's good enough. I mean, we were here mostly to talk about the miners, the Bitcoins, and the Coinbases and MicroStrategy. So we have accomplished that. For all of their requests, I'll take them in the morning for you guys. I'll take them all.
Yeah, the climax has been reached. I think we just don't want to touch any more charts anymore.
Yeah. I mean, after that dog COVID would be a rough joke. We cannot just continue. That was the climax right there.
Yeah, I just had a video on GME a couple days ago, so feel free to check that out. But yeah, sorry guys, we're not able to take all the requests. I think Tregger's not here. It's close to the holidays, and we're going to call the night a little bit early. Random video, stop it. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys.